very good afternoon to all my friends at ADC Singapore. My name is Thian, Jong Thian Long. I'm from Malaysia. I'm actually from Kuching, Kuching Sarawak. I'm from the Borneo side of Malaysia. I'm 44 this year, and I have joined the insurance industry since late October 2006. I was coded in October 1st, 2006. So a little bit of my background. So it has been like what 13, 14 years since I joined. 11 times MDRT members. If you include next year, 12 times MDRT members with 2 top of the table and 2 core of the table. And when I was young, so I was born in Kuching. Well, I was born in Sarawak, and I left for America. I left for Los Angeles when I was 15, and I stayed in Los Angeles till I was 25. I did my high school in Los Angeles. I did my university in Los Angeles, and I finished my master coursework in LA, but then I did not finish because I didn't finish writing my thesis, and I came back to Malaysia. Before joining the insurance industry, I had a couple of jobs in Kuching. So the first was with a private college in Kuching for 2.5 years. I was on the corporate side, and initially was really exciting, first job, working on the corporate side. I was handling by the time I quit, I think I was the manager for like 9 different departments, but my pay was horrendous. I went in at 2005 ringgit, not Sing dollars, 2,500 ringgit. And I left 2.5 years later, making 3,000 ringgit. And one of the reasons that I left because I felt the effort that I put in and what I'm getting out of the company is no longer balanced. And when I came back to Malaysia when I was 25, back in 2001, I started meeting a new group of friends. Young professional, accountants, engineer, lawyer, what have you, business owner, and you can see the progression of of their career in 2-3 years, and the kind of money that they are making in 2-3 years. And I just said to myself, it's really one of those cliche things. It's either I find a new job or I have to find a new group of friends because I can no longer hang out with them. It's getting really taxing just to hang out, go on holidays and things like that, simple things. And of course, they are very generous, they're very good friends, they pay for me, a lot of the time, but how much can you allow your friends to pay for you? So that was one of the reasons as well. There are many reasons why I left the company, so that was one of the reasons. And then, so I left the college and took 6 months off, and eventually ended up working for my mom. She's a small company, but I knew it was a small, it was a short-term employment, so I gave myself 1 year. So I worked for her for a year, and all mom loves their son, so she gave me 4,000 ringgit without doing much. I practically didn't do anything. I was very unmotivated as well. I'll go into work. So towards the end, I was going to work at 10, and I'll finish work at 2:30, 3. Yeah, so I practically wasn't working. So I practically was just, getting free money for like a good 6 months. So I quit in early 2006, thinking that I could get a job easy, right? But then I was unemployed for a good 9 months. Yeah, so I'm unemployed for a good 9 months. So September, I was really down. I had a job lined up. I went in for a few interviews. Looked like I was going to get that job, but then ended up not getting it. So I was really bummed. Spoke to one of my really good friends. She was with ING Insurance at that time, and she was like, "Why don't you do insurance?" I was like, "Okay, I guess since I got nothing better to do anyway, So I decided to set an appointment and spoke to her manager. I remember that was a Friday. So I spoke to her on a Wednesday. Had my interview with the manager on Friday, who is my district manager right now. And the next Monday, I started full time. That was in September, and then exam and get coded in October. Yeah. So I'm from so I was previously from ING before ING was bought over by AIA back in 2013. Yeah. Okay. So that's a little bit of background. So I joined very quickly. So one of the things that I always tell people is that when I first came back to Malaysia, my mom asked me to join the insurance industry because my mom loves insurance. She buys a lot of insurance, but then at that time I didn't want to do it because I felt I want to climb the corporate ladder, so that was my dream. Yeah, so I didn't, and so my mom was laughing at me 5 years later. One big round, and ended up in the work that she has asked me to do. My mom knows me very well. She said one of the reasons why she asked me to do is because she knows I get bored very easily. And with the insurance industry, it's very exciting. and
All
every
right.
day you are meeting different people. So she knows that that kind of sort of rhythm and that kind of working environment would get me going. Rather than working, if I'm still continuing working for a corporation, I'll probably like jump ship like every 2.5 years, every 3 years, because I get bored very easily. Once I get bored, once I've done my challenge and that's it, I'm looking for new things. So yeah,
All right.
So that's
All right.
my
Good.
background.
Good. What were your thoughts when this whole this movement control, right? You call it movement control or the MCO, right?
Yep. Right.
When this started in Malaysia, what were your thoughts in the beginning? What were your thoughts in the beginning? Yeah.
So when it first started, I was actually kind of under quarantine because I came back from late February. I was in Taiwan, and as we know, Taiwan, there's very few cases, but because of political reason, Malaysia put Taiwan as part of China. So when I came back from Taiwan early March, I had to go under 2 weeks quarantine. So I kind of did that. Yeah. So I kind of did that. Okay. So I came back on the 7th of March, and so when government announced on the 16th of March, and I'm a very curious person, and nothing really affects me, very much anyway. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. It'd be interesting. It's something that we never experienced before. It's like a new thing. I don't think people in our generation has really experienced anything like a circuit breaker, lockdown, or movement control thingy. So I was fine, so for the first week, of course, leading into it, and then the first week, the manager, we are talking a lot because, we're trying to find a way, how are we going to, deal with our agent, so there's a lot of meeting, a lot of discussions, and immediately, a lot of industrial groups are calling out, so people are moving very fast, way faster than me, okay? So for the first week, I was really, really busy. And then it kind of hit me during the second week that, especially after our Prime Minister announced the first extension into April. So it kind of hit me a little bit because my forte when it comes to my business is my ability to build relationship with my customers, especially face to face. So now with the whole MCO thing, so that power, the ability is taken away from me. And I don't know why one night I just woke up freaking out, like, oh my God, like what I'm gonna do, and it's totally freaked out. So I freaked out for like a couple of days, and also another problem with me this year going into 2020 was since December 2019, I was very busy with a few projects, and I was organizing a lot of events, part of the team, a few events going at the same time. So December, January, February, going into March, I didn't do the kind of work that I normally would do, meaning like engaging the prospects, engaging the clients. I didn't do a lot of that. So going into March, my prospect list is like that much.
Just came down.
So that got me scared as well, because if I would have done a lot of prospecting in January and February, I know I can do a lot of sales, even though with this whole MCO thing, in Malaysia it's called non-face-to-face. But then because I didn't do that, I didn't prepare for it. So that got me kind of concerned as well. But I was kind of freaked out for like a couple of days, and that was it. And and after that, just busy. I'm like, I think most people are the same as well. Like for me, I think for the last, we are into week 7 in Malaysia, or week 8.
Yeah.
Week 7. Yeah.
So that gets me to my next question.
Right.
So how did you progress over the last few weeks and to where you are today? What was the progression like? Because it was a lot of adjustment in the beginning, from what I hear from you. When you came back from Taiwan, it was a lot of change and a lot of.
Right.
So what was the progress like in the last 3 weeks or so, or month? Yeah.
So I mean, one of the things that I've been doing is, I've been keeping myself very busy with a lot of projects. I think in the initial part, I was very blessed to know that I don't need to do sales if I don't want to. I don't have to if I don't.
Lucky you.
I think many of you here are in the same position. You don't want to say it. Yeah. So now I do sales not because I need to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. Because if I don't do it, I cannot share my experience with the agents. If I cannot share my experience, how do I know what they're going through? So because it's a new learning curve for everyone. So I had to go through it myself in order to be able to get the other guy's going. So if they ask me questions like, oh, my client said this, during this time, I know what it means because maybe, my client also say the same thing. Maybe my prospect also say the same thing. But imagine if I don't do any of that, when someone asks me, the only thing I can say, is to spin up some excuses for them, So for the last 4 weeks, I've just been very busy, and I've been keeping myself very busy, doing all sort of things. I'm not the most disciplined person, but then, I just trying to jump from project to project, so that I feel like every day is an eventful day. So that's what I've been trying to do. Yeah. Okay. And then, so I move on very quickly, because in terms of, mindset, once I realize that there are things that I cannot control, like this whole MCO thing, I cannot control, right? It's out of my control, out of my reach, I'm not the prime minister. Then why worry about it? Why stress over it? So, I focus on the things that I can do and the things that I can control, and the things that I cannot control, I just let it go. I'm very good at letting things go. So that's one of the skills that I have, letting things go. Yeah.
Okay. Seems like you have a very interesting mind. Your mindset seems to be wired in a very unique way. Can I ask you? I mean, many of us have probably passed, maybe me included as well. 3-4 weeks have passed, and I feel that I've not accomplished very much. Any advice for us? Who feel that the last 2-3 weeks or 4 weeks have passed and we didn't do much. We didn't do the non-face-to-face, and we're wondering how we're going to do the next 4 weeks. So
right.
Any advice for us?
I mean, it's actually just, it's not only in Singapore. I think like yesterday, because our agency, we still have morning meeting since the second week, every morning from 8:30 to 9:30, every day, Monday to Friday. And yesterday, especially Monday, in the morning, I realized that the energy level was very low among the agents. And I think in Malaysia, because we started in March, early March 18, I think it has come to a point where a lot of our agents are getting tired mentally, especially, especially when you make 20 calls and you get like 3 of them. So the ratio is very low. So I think it's, right. So people are trying really hard to do things, but then at the same time, the result is not coming in and they're tired, it's just like, it feels like it's endless effort, but not much result, So at the end of the day, I think it depends, because right now we are going with the norms, in the sense that a lot of, I mean, everyone feels, we have this general feeling that we have to do something about our business. Okay. Right. But then at the end of the day, my take is, yes, some of us need to do something because it's livelihood, because their bank account is really looking really, really sad, but many of us, we actually don't have to. But then always remember that whatever decision you make today has consequences. So if I choose, just because I have lots of savings, I actually do not need to work for the rest of the year and I'll be fine. But there will be consequences, because whatever I'm enjoying right now are consequences for the work that I put in last year, the year before.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I choose not to do anything, which I totally can, but then the consequences will come towards the second half of the year, and it will lead into next year and even the year after. As long as you can understand that, as long as you can live with that, then I think you're okay. But then a lot of us are not in the position, because I think that the whole non-face, so in Malaysia it's called non-face-to-face, so using technology to presentation, it's going to be the norm for the next few months. So it's either you learn it or you don't learn it. If you don't learn it, there are consequences. But if you learn it, there will be consequences, which is, I think mostly it'll be good consequence. So I think people need to understand that, so so that's my take on it. So, and then, so what I do is, another thing that you were talking about, Venka, about not feeling not accomplished. I felt that. Yeah. I felt that for the first 3 weeks. Yeah. I was just like, every day, every day I feel like I'm busy. Morning I wake up. I actually still wake up quite early. Most days no later than 8, because I have to be at the morning meeting by 8:30, right? So most days about 7:30. So I feel like, and then I feel like I have full day, full day.
The whole day passes, right? The whole day passes, and then like you feel nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. So then, then I said to myself, it cannot be, it cannot be a whole day passes when I did not do anything. That is why, starting from week 4, I decided to do a detailed, log of my daily routine. So, but in a 30 minutes interval, I write down everything that I do, almost everything that I do throughout the day. So because I want to see, is it really I've done nothing, or is it because my mind is playing tricks? Because a lot of times we don't give ourselves a lot of credit. Things that we do, unless, because right now we feel like a couple of things. If you start losing weight and start building muscle, then all the exercises that you're doing during circuit breaker makes sense.
Yeah.
If you start producing cases, start bringing in, the premium, then we feel like we are doing something. So we are very result oriented right now. If we do not have result, we feel like we are not doing something, but we know that is not true. We are doing so much right now. And actually, I think many people are doing a lot of work related things. It's just that the result might come in slower, or they might not have come in, but it doesn't mean that we are not doing. So the focus cannot be only on the result. Of course, the result is something that we want eventually, right? But then the focus should be the process as well. Yeah. So I start doing a detailed log of what I do. Sometimes I miss, but most days I'm very good at writing down. So so at the end of the day, I can look back and ask myself, oh, so let's see what I have done today. Okay. So you can do a quick evaluation of what you need to do the next day. So on Sunday, I will do a quick evaluation of the week. Oh, this week, way too much Netflix, or this week, way too much this, or not enough this, not enough that. So you can do adjustments for next week. So again, it's a constant improvement, of what you're trying to do, and then during what time. I don't have like a lock, some people they lock themselves saying that 9 to 12 is this, 12 to 2 is this. I don't do that because my time is very fluid. And then, for example, I've done at least like 20 presentations, in the last, since MCO, so different people ask me to do different time slots. So I like to keep my day very fluid, but then I tell myself every day I need to get in touch with the X number of people, and X number of clients, X number of prospects. I need to do this, I need to do that. If I can get it done, then, it's job well done. So that is how I deal. Then I realize that I'm actually doing a lot of things. Then every day I tell myself, good job. You have done a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
Okay. So what would you suggest for people? Some easier said than done, isn't it? So
right.
Sometimes days just go by and then we don't achieve anything at all. I mean, what's your suggestion for people for some days, like it can just pass by and then I feel that it's just gone. So
right.
I mean, I think doing that daily 30-minute block that you mentioned probably can be quite helpful, right?
Right. I mean, to me, I think first of all, you have to recognize where you are right now. I think many of us have moved on. We have understand that this is a situation. Singapore is very clear. Like for our prime minister, he announced it every other 2 weeks, extension. You guys just go late April, be like, you know what? We're gonna be stuck at home till 1st of June.
Exactly.
Your prime minister just came out and say that. For us, we try to do it a different way, because I think if he announced like an 8 weeks lockdown, the whole Malaysia was quite freaked out. So we do every 2 weeks. Yeah. So
no, but you guys were more stringent, isn't it? You guys didn't allow you guys to go out and all that a lot more than ours here.
Yeah, we are a lot
a real
more strict.
lockdown. Yeah.
Ours is like, we have like army coming out. We have the police officer on the street. Because I think the situation is slightly different, because I think a lot of Singapore, the cluster is with the foreign workers. So it's good and bad in that sense, because then the Singaporean, I know this is my take on it, the Singaporean might feel, because every time when I look at Facebook and see my colleagues outside jogging, I'm like, what are they doing, Singaporeans? I'm like, why are they jogging? Why are the kids outside? We are locking our kids in the house. Like my kids are grown, we're still locking them in the house, and they're like jogging outside, playing outside, taking photos and put on Facebook. And I think that's a sentiment, because they feel like most of the cases are with the foreign workers, so they are not as worried. But then that can be true, and it can be bad as well, because if it does have if a small breakout, it will just go like wildfire. Like this is exactly what happened in Malaysia. But anyway, so going back to what we're experiencing is that, I always talk to agents, first of all, you need to know where you are mentally, because if you don't know what is bothering you, then you cannot move on. That's why, we talk about, I talk a lot about writing down your problem. Why are you concerning? Why are you freaking out? Why are you still freaking out after 6 weeks? What is your problem? You have to write it down, because you have to visualize. Human beings are visualize animals. So you write it down, so a lot of them, it's like, because we cannot see anyone. And I'll ask them, if you cannot see anyone, what's the big deal? Who cares? Don't see anyone, just stay at home. Isn't it fun to chill at home and do nothing? And it's like, if you cannot see anyone, how am I going to see my customer? I cannot talk to my customer. I cannot speak to my prospect. I cannot build relationship. I cannot do presentation. I'm like, so your concern of MCO is actually you cannot see people. I'm like, okay, if you cannot see people face to face, no need to do sales. And then they'll look at me like, if I don't do sales, how am I going to get money? So at the end of the day, the concern is money. A lot of people. Okay, so we go deep into where the concern comes from. Where are they freaking out? So if you do not do that, you cannot move on. So now we know. Okay, so then it's about money. Then you ask yourself, do I really have a money issue? If you really do have a money issue, then you know what? My advice is that you learn the non-face-to-face, technique really, really quickly,
master it,
and you make as many calls as you need to learn them. That's the only way. So what you cannot control the circuit breaker. You cannot control the NCO, but you can control your action. You can control you can choose to learn and start calling people. So those are the things that you can control. So forget about those things that you cannot control. So once they understand that, then that's a point for them to move on. Then of course the next phase is to guide them. And someone said, I think is it Mike earlier said, we have to be patient. Absolutely, we have to be patient. So imagine when we first joined the industry, I think everyone probably went through the same steps. When you join, you get coded, you start having training, and then you start going out to see people. And then we've gone to see people. We make mistakes. We get rejected. We come back, we ask our manager, it's like, hey, banker, just now, I had this appointment and this person said this, and then rejected me. And then you coach me. You're like, oh, next time when someone say this to you, try to say that. So next time when I go out, when I hear that, I will, I have more things to say,
Absolutely.
so we learn. And that learning process, I don't know about you, my learning process is like, I'm still learning, but then it really took me a long time to sort of perfect my whole sales routine. But then right now we are learning a new thing, right? Everyone just expect that we can master it in a week, in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. Some people will do it a lot quicker. And I think a lot of times people feel pressured because some of our colleagues are submitting cases. They are doing so well, but yet I'm not. What is wrong? Again, no point of freaking out. You just have to learn, so you learn through your mistakes, and that's the only thing you can do right now.
So just be on it and it'll just happen. Okay. Good.
You have to be on it. You have to be constantly be on it. That's the only way to move forward. Yeah.
Okay. Thian, you seem to have a very likable disposition. Is this something that you grew up with, or is something that you learned to have? Is it something that I can nurture myself because I don't have that smile or that, the likability factor that you have? So for some of us who don't have it, that comes naturally, any piece of advice for us?
Okay, so the smile is the brand. Okay, so that's my brand. Okay, and I know that, and I use it. I think because people generally quite enjoy, seeing someone with a big smile. So, but where did it come from, though? I mean, when we talk, and when you throw me that question yesterday, this morning, I looked at it. It's actually survival. Because so it's years. So it's years of practice. So when I was young, growing up, all the way to maybe I was like 21. Actually, to my 21, I have always been a very big kid. Okay, so I'm now about 185. So so I'm 1.85 meter. I'm close to 6'1" ish, and I've always been a big kid on the big side. And then going to America, the whole American culture, the kind of food that we eat and that sort of thing. When you're 15, you don't think about nutrition. Nobody think about nutrition when they're 15. But anyhow, so I got really, really big. I got bigger than before, for fat people, I can even say that word. Yeah, I was fat. I was at my heaviest at about 140 kg. That was when I was at my heaviest. So growing up, I've always been big, on the big side, heavy side. So I become very good at, pleasing people, because you have to be a comedian when you are fat. That's why a lot of good comedians are on the heavier side, because that's the only skill you have. People cannot associate you with good looking. I mean, unless you have true talent, otherwise they cannot associate with talent. So if you want to be liked, what do you have? You have to be comical. You have to be that teddy bear. I think from young, that was my thing, try to create people to like me. Even till I would say about 5 years ago, being liked is actually very important for me. I feel very insecure if I know that someone does not like me. I mean, I'm getting a lot better now. I'm much more confident. So my whole thing is always about doing things that will make you like me. And I think that's what got me become really, really good at sales as well. I'm really good at building relationships because I can make people like me really quickly if I want to. And that's of course years of training. Yeah. So
Okay.
so I think one of the things is, that people can do to be likable is to learn how to smile. I
Okay.
think smile goes a long way, and genuine big smile, long smile, yeah, goes a long way.
Like
So that
like
so
this.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yesterday I read a book, about how we should treat everyone that we meet as a child. You know how I mean, most people, I would say most, not all, most
Yeah.
people react very differently when they see a children, when they see a little baby, or when they see a little kid.
Okay.
So let's say today in front of you, you have a grown up walk towards you, or you have a baby, a little 5-year-old, 3-year-old run towards you. Your reaction is very different. So your reaction towards that little
Absolutely.
kid is very warm. You probably open up your arm and welcome that kid to you. You smile, you're grinning, ear to ear. But we
Yeah.
don't do that to adults unless it's someone that we know. That's why,
Yeah.
yesterday
If
when
you
I was
think
reading
about it,
this book,
true.
it's really, really great book. I'll show you the cover. That's what it talks about. Welcome everyone as if they are like, a 5-year or 3-year-old. I was
Yeah.
just like,
That's a
wow.
good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm actually quite reserved, in public area. Like my public persona is that I'll be polite, but then I'm not one of those. Like, I mean, just imagine right now, when you go to a company function, I mean, you will see there are certain people just like social butterfly. They fly around, they say hi to people.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
that kind of person. I'm actually quite reserved. I'll talk to only people that I know very well. But if people come up to me and talk to me and want to take photos and things like that, I'll definitely say hi. But then I'm not that natural person that flies around, because I'm just like that. I feel very awkward. And when I read
Okay.
that, I said to myself, next time when I'm in an event or, company event or whatever event, I need to take the approach, to actually welcome everyone as if they are like a kid. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right. Good. Good. Um, on another area, I mean, with all the changes that's happened in terms of technology in our business right now,
Right.
do you think that will change the way you do business moving forward?
Um, I don't think so. I mean,
Haha. No?
for me,
Yeah.
it's really funny because I closed a few cases recently, and I realized that the method that I use is actually very similar before MCO. So for those of you who doesn't know me very well, in the last couple of years, I travel extensively because you see, everything happens in KL for us because nothing happens in Kuching, right? So we have meetings, company meetings, MDRT meetings. A lot of things happen in KL, and we are so used to seeing each other face to face. And so I fly to KL a lot, and I fly overseas, speaking engagement. So I'm away. Last year I was away from Kuching 6 months out of the year. And then the year
Oh,
before, I was away maybe like 4.5 months, close to 5 months out of the year. And so my time, so what I have done, with sales is that, so I try my best to build relationship in person. But when it comes to sales, I actually use a lot of WhatsApp. So let's say, today, whether Venka, let's say, if you're already my client and
yeah.
I have a new plan that I want you to look at, of course, we are constantly in touch, whether it's through messaging or, sitting down, having a cup of coffee or having a meal. We are constantly in touch. But I realized that, when we talk business, I'll throw you the proposal over WhatsApp and we have a discussion, either, through a phone call or through chat. And when you're okay with, the new proposal, then I'll go over and get it signed. So I've
Ah,
been doing that
okay.
for the last couple of years. And I realized that, the last few cases that I closed during MCO is the same thing. I
Okay.
throw the proposal to my prospect and ask him to look at it. So we have a discussion. One of it, what I did is that, he said he preferred to actually talk to me over the phone. I said, that's fine. I said, why don't you throw the proposal, open it on, in your iPad so that your phone is free, so that, we can look at the proposal, you look at on your side, I will look at on my side, and we have a discussion over the phone. And then the other one, wants to do WhatsApp messaging. So we just discuss the whole proposal that way. And then I
Oh, okay.
realized that it's actually, I'm not sure. I'm sure a lot of people are sometimes do sales that way, some, throw a proposal to client, and then when you need to sign, then you go over it. I mean, of course, if you can sit down face to face, talk about the whole presentation, then it's the best. But otherwise, I feel like we have been using technology all day long for many, many years, but all of a sudden
it's just compressed. It's just compressed now that we have no choice but to use
exactly.
technology, right? Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. But the thing is, you'll be surprised, because not only us agent or advisor has been using technology for for the last 3, 4, 5 years, our client has also been using technology for that long.
Yeah,
so why?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so why are we concerned about our client doesn't want to, talk to us? And I think the issue with because I spoke to a few Singaporean group. I think one of the biggest issue with advisors that I see from Singapore, especially the younger agent, is that they do a lot of cold calling. They do a lot of business with what I would consider acquaintance.
Okay.
And to me, that can be difficult because acquaintance does not have loyalty towards you.
Okay.
Acquaintance need building relationships. So imagine today, Alex is acquaintance. I met him somewhere. I got his name list from another friend as a referral. Of course, the most effective way is for me to meet Alex somewhere, sit down and talk about this proposal, right? So that he can run away, so I can actually, use all the skill that I have, to capture him. But now you don't have that because now Alex can even refuse to not want to engage with me.
Exactly.
Exactly. So what we are telling our agent is, there's a couple of things that we are doing is that, we say, if you build your confidence, start going back to your older clients, to your existing clients, talk to your existing clients, do review. Don't ask them if you can do review, just do it. You have so much time at home anyway. What are you gonna do? You do nothing anyway, right? So what I do is, I'll call my client. I'll be like, oh, so my script is always the same. I'll be like, oh yeah, some of my clients asked me to do review, and I thought, oh, what a wonderful idea. So I decided to do it for everyone. And here's the review. So I'll throw it to them. I'll be like, when are you free? Let's talk about it. So in case something happens, what you already have.
Absolutely.
So we talk about the review, So of course, when you're going to a review, that's when you're trying to upsell. And I'm quite cool about it. For example, let's say I'll be like, Venka, oh, this is what you have. Oh, critical illness, you only have 100,000. Okay, and I remember you told me your income is roughly 100,000 annually. And I think I told you that before. Critical illness should be minimum 5 times of your annual income, but you only have 20% of it. I think we need to talk about this, but it's okay. We can talk about it some other time. So I throw that to you. Yeah. So then once I finish everything, then I'll be like, okay. And then, so there's 2 reactions. You might get hooked and be like, oh, by the way, you were talking about the critical illness, not enough. So how much should I get? Then I continue. Or if you don't talk about it, that's fine. I finish this phone call. I'll go back and I will do a proposal and I'll throw it to you.
Okay.
Then I'll be like, oh, remember we talked about how your critical illness.
So you take the initiative to move forward with it if the client doesn't, because you have the conviction that that's something that's important for the client to have.
Yes, I mean at the end of the day, so when we communicate with client, we always have to understand where we are in terms of the power that we have. So this is something that I talk a lot. So imagine that. So let's say this is your client. So when your power is equal, you can talk a lot. There's a lot of things that you can talk about. So you can do the one where when you just throw things at them, you don't ask for their, you don't really need to ask for their permission, but then you do it politely. Okay. Yeah. But then there are clients, that think that, oh my God, this guy is doing so well. They are actually below you. So you have power over them. So these are the one you basically be like, now is a good time, you should buy, so you talk very differently. Oh, you have clients that is way powerful than you. So you play a different game, you talk a different talk. You let them have the power, but yet you deliver the message that you need to deliver, so you constantly need to know where you are with your client. Okay. So when you know that, then you know how to move on. But most of the time, with our client, we are equal. We have to be at least equal. Yeah. I mean, with some of the older, successful people, they can be above you, but at the same time, you know how to play that game. Yeah. So I always say,
Yes. Carry on.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm curious. Would you be able to share with us your presentation?
What do
something that you do with your clients, like something that you do with your clients, for example. like share on screen something? Maybe you do something with your clients or something. You think you can?
You mean like my actual like
a presentation? Yeah. Something that you do online now.
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I know. I'm putting you in a spot right now. I know. I'm putting you in a spot.
But then you know my presentation is actually very simple. I'll tell you why. I mean, I'll tell you
simple.
Exactly why.
Simple is the best. Simple is the best, right?
Let me find it. You know, this problem we have like 20 folders on your.
Okay.
So this is me, constantly cleaning my desktop, but of course it's never clean.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll just show you one.
Sure. Appreciate it very much, Thian.
Oh no worries. Okay. Okay. Yep, I got it.
Cool.
Hey, where
you can share screen, right?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out what happened to me. Oh yeah, you're right here. Technology.
Cool.
So so you guys can see that, right? So this is my. Oh, how do I make it smaller? Oh, here. Can you see the full page now?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So this is my cover. So this is my cover. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is my cover, and so basically this client. Okay. So to make you guys understand is that my presentation is very simple because I work on relationships. So by the time I throw this to her, I know that we are in a good relationship, and I don't need to, you know. So my presentation is very straightforward. So now it's all about the facts. How much you give me, what can we give you, that sort of thing. All right.
Okay.
So this client is very interesting because this is my so this is one of the cases that I closed last week. So I wasn't able to close her last year. So one of the things that I went back to do is I start going back to a lot of cases that I fell last year and the year before. And I look at them and I decided to repropose them. Okay. So if you look at this one is a very standard, it's a very simple standalone medical plan. It's like 4,000 ringgit a year. All you get is a medical plan. I don't know, 5, that's it. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 is nothing. Okay.
Okay.
And the premium table I had to include because the premium goes out every year.
Okay.
Okay. And then I showed, I mean, the product itself, you know, expired at age 100, but I only feel like showing her to age 75. I mean, of course, I don't want her to buy this one, you know, so the important thing comes here, you know. So this is the second one. Can you see the 7,000 ringgit one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one I want her to buy. So this is the investment link policy. Okay, so basically it's still medical focus because I know at this point, she's one of those clients that only focusing on medical. She thinks that she has critical illness all down. So those are the things I don't want to talk about because I feel like I didn't lock her in as my client. So once I lock her in as my client, then I have more opportunity to talk about other things. This is someone that is in her 50s who does not have insurance, who only rely on corporate insurance. So she bought her first insurance. So that's a big step. Okay, so eventually we'll talk about critical illness. Then we'll talk about fund value. And you see it's never equal, it's always approximate sign. Okay. So this is something that, so Malaysia is more relaxed. I think Singapore is, I mean, you guys, you have to show your whole set of quotation to your client and that sort of thing. But in Malaysia, we don't have to. And I don't show it to them because I think it's very complicated. Sometimes we in the industry, we don't even understand how to read them properly. So imagine what our client's gonna read, okay? So, and then I start doing a calculation. Basically, you know, I said this is, you know, for example, I tell her, this one is, you know, more expensive in the beginning part, but at the end, it'll be cheaper. And imagine, you know, 275, you're paying X amount of money. 75, you get like 32,000 ringgit back, you know, so you're actually paying less. So what is the point to buy a 4,000 ringgit plan when you can buy a 7,000 ringgit plan and pay less in the future? Because I know she doesn't have a money problem. She has money. 7,000 is not an issue with her. But then I have to show her because this is what she wants. She asked me for a standalone medical plan. So I show it to her to respect her. But at the same time, I give her one that I think is more suitable. So what is at the back? Table of critical illness. So this all came from the policy book, you know, just, you know, just
so you
like
just
that.
Put it in, Okay, cool.
I just put it in, And then the reason why, you see for this one, right? So for the very first one, the 3008, I guess you're looking at the 3008 one? You are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you know, So people is just like, why are you putting all these things that is not included, life, critical illness? Because I want her to talk about it. What if she look at it and be like, hey, how come I only have medical? How come your proposal doesn't include critical illness? How come your proposal doesn't include this? So I want this to be a trigger point, and I'll straight out tell her, because you don't want it. Should I include it?
So that becomes a discussion.
That becomes a discussion, or I will say, oh, I can totally include it. You know, give me like 10 minutes. I'll quickly go back and draw another one and throw at her again. You know, so you want to show her what you have and what you have, but what she is not signing up.
Think about. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So it's a very simple proposal. Yeah, just like that.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay, good. The next question I want to ask you is, you know, if I want to ask you three things, three reasons why people will buy from an agent, what would that be? If you could think
from
of
any agent, from any advisor,
from
or
any
why
advisor.
they should buy from service. Yeah. Service is the biggest thing. People think they don't need service, but when shit hits the fan, that's when they realize, how important we are, because I mean, sometimes we make our job look very easy because we do it all the time. When it comes to claims, we do it fast because we have a system that helps us. We do it almost every week, so we know. But imagine you are someone that has never done a claim before. Imagine you have to go and do the claim, running to the hospital, get reports, filling the form, getting the form kicked back to you and be like, oh, sorry, you made a mistake. So those are the things, that are different. And I think, as an agent, we have that added value. And then because we are professional, so we know all the information, so we are able to advise our clients. There's only so much you can read about insurance. So imagine, our client, who wants to.
We lost you.
The first week agent. Oh.
Okay. Now we can hear you.
You hear me now?
Oh, yeah, now I can.
Okay. So they're like, agent that has only been around for the first week. How much can a 1 week agent know? Not a lot. So it's the same thing. Yeah. How much can our client learn? It takes us how long to learn the ins and outs of insurance, and we are still learning. So if they don't have all the proper information, how can they make the right decision when they buy insurance? I think it's very simple. Okay. Yeah. So
service. So you say service and competency.
Yes, service and competency. Because a competent advisor will give the proper solution for their clients. And I think above that, is friendship. It's a relationship that you build. Yeah, it's a relationship that you build, with your clients. And I think that is very important. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that those three are the primary reasons why people buy from you as well?
Yeah. Yep. And I think people buy from me because, of course, there's other reason because, I would like to think of myself as extremely efficient. I'm very fast when I, when I do things, and I think people like it because they know I'm very busy, but yet I'm very accessible. So no matter where, and so I'm not one of those agents that switch off my phone or do not reply messages when I go on holiday. Like when I'm on holiday, I'm always on my phone. When I fly, if the plane has Wi-Fi, I'll definitely sign up for Wi-Fi. So I'm always accessible. People can always get in touch with me. Yeah. So for my client that doesn't do Facebook, because every time I travel, I'll post photos in Facebook so people know that I'm away and that sort of thing. I won't say that I'm away, but I'll post photo people can see. But a lot of clients that doesn't follow me on Facebook, sometimes they don't even know that I'm away. It can be like 3 o'clock in LA. They'll text me and I will, because it's like when I hear a text, I'll wake up and I have a discussion with them. And sometimes I'll decide, oh, not very urgent, then I will wait, till I wake up. If I feel that it's urgent, then I'll reply right away. And I think people like that. Yeah.
Okay. So just being there all the time. Cool.
Just being there all the time and fast. Yeah.
Okay. Thian, right now we have a bunch of questions that we're going to do a poll on. Right. So just bear with us for a while.
But before that, there's someone that asked me, Erwin Lee asked me, where do you buy your ornament? What ornament?
Oh, the one behind you, I think.
Oh, you mean that thing right there?
Yeah.
Oh, that came from Lijiang, China.
Oh, really? Very nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
So guys,
okay. So other questions,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll wait for the vote.
Okay.
30 more seconds. 30 more seconds.
Yeah. No, you got this really likable personality, you know, that exudes it comes very naturally to you.
Thank you.
It's a very good thing. Blessed.
Thank you very much.
Blessed. Yeah. I wish I have your smile. I don't have it.
You have,
We have a different thing going on. Yeah. No, you have a good smile as well, but I think you come across a bit harder because you have that Mr. Bowl, look.
Very serious. Yeah.
10 more seconds.
Cool. Yeah. I've enjoyed talking to you today. Actually, this whole session has been very enlightening for me. I learned a lot from you.
Thank you.
And I think just let's see what questions come out as the top. We have, what did you do differently which propelled you to achieve TOT from MDRT? That's the highest number of percentage.
So we're going to ask that one?
Yeah, ask that one first, and then I'll go to the second one.
Okay. I think it's mindset. I think, so what happened was, you see, at the end of the day, people love to talk about skill. But then I always say that if skill is everything, that we should all be top of the table. We should all be MDRT at least, because we all learn from the same trainer. We all learn from the same skill set. We can all go and buy Sanjay's book, but are you going to have 100 MDRT in a year? Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it is your mindset that can put your skill in place. So if your mind is not there, if your mindset is not strong, no matter how much you learn, it's just a waste of time. Okay, for me, it was a decision that I made very consciously because I think when I first did my first MDRT, it was sort of my way to thank my parents, for all the money they spent on me. I feel like, oh, finally, becoming an MDRT, I'm at least somebody in the insurance industry. That's how I felt. So 6 years gone past, MDRT become just a routine thing. And I think that was back in late 2014 when I was thinking about what I'm going to do in 2015. And, I said to myself, I want to be the best in AI in Malaysia, at least, from a sales point of view, how to be the best, become a top of the table member. So I did 6 years at MDRT. I skipped my quota of the table. I went straight to my, aiming for my top of the table. And because I feel like I have the clientele, I feel like I have what it takes to be top of the table. But then I ask myself, why am I not top of the table? So, it's all about changing your mind. And I was super, super focused, in 2015 when I was aiming for my top of the table. I was so focused that every morning I would look at my production. And so at any given point, if you ask me, oh, what is your balance? I can just tell you exactly what my balance is. So I was actually that focused. And it was very interesting because in 2015, I only achieved my first MDRT in June. So, but at any given point, if you ask me, are you going to, achieve your top of the table? I will tell you yes. With confidence. It's not fake confidence, it's full confidence. I just feel like I will get there. I don't know when.
What's going to happen?
It will happen in 2015. So I did my first MDRT by June, and by September I did my core of the table, and by end of November I did my top of the table. And the reason why I finished in November is because back then our national kickoff is in December. Okay. So if you're already top of the table, they will recognize you early December. So I feel so my first planning was all the way to December. Now I had to push back. Because I think it's a big honor. It's like if you do something and you don't show it off, what's the point of doing it? That's how I see it. For us, at the end of the day, I'm not sure about you. You guys who are MDRT members. After being the top of the table, MDRT for so long, I don't have people lining out outside my office wanting to buy insurance. Then you ask yourself, what is MDRT for? Yes, it does set you apart. It does set you apart. When people know that, you can educate your client. People know that you do well. But it doesn't mean that people just line up and want to buy insurance, So I think a lot of it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're trying to make yourself feel good. It's a shield effect. So if you want to feel that, why not? So that's how I see it. Yeah, it's mindset. It's all here. It's all here.
It's all here.
Yeah, it's what you say to yourself. It's the kind of belief that you have. I did an interview yesterday with a district director from Hong Kong. and he's also a top of the table member. He basically say, what you say to your heart, you will turn into action, and action will lead to result. So you have to be very careful with yourself. Yeah. So that was, to me, that was a profound, statement that anyone would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good.
So same thing right now. So we're going back to circuit breaker. What is the kind of mindset that you have going into circuit breaker?
Yeah.
So I think that's very important. Everyone has different mindset. You can decide what you want to do. One of the things that I always talk about with a lot of agencies is that, are you engagement ready every day?
Yeah.
And people say, what does that mean? Very, very simple. If today one of your prospect, not your client are people that you know, prospect are people that you do not know well, but you want to do their business. If today a prospect call you and say, oh, can we do a video call right now? I want to talk about insurance. Are you able to switch on? Are you able to switch on your Zoom immediately? Or you're going to tell your client or your prospect, give me 30 minutes so you can get ready for it. So if you're not even ready in the morning to tackle the day from a work perspective,
then
what else do you have? I'm not saying that
much to say.
I'm not saying that you have to throw on a shirt and a tie and a suit, but then I think the least is that you should wear a polo t-shirt, comb your hair so that you are ready to work. So if you're not even engagement ready, then let's not even talk about skill and let me teach you how to, call your client. Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about how to get yourself ready. If you're not even going to be getting yourself ready, then forget it lah. Nothing you can do.
It's easy for me to get ready because I don't have to comb my hair.
Well, yeah, well, true, but you still wash your face and put on your clothes. Right?
Okay, so the next question that comes up to you is, how do you deal with people who loves to compare?
Oh, so I'm very fortunate that most of my clients do not compare. Again, it goes back to relationship. Okay, so there's a few key things. So it goes back to relationship because most of the time my relationship with my clients are very, very close, or my prospect I built to a point that I know we become close, then only I talk business. Okay, if it's referred to me, then it's even better because I think that if someone referred to you to buy from me, then you should trust me. Okay, so that's one thing. It's a relationship that you build. The second thing is you have to know, your enemy's product, right? So if you don't know what other company is selling, then you have a big problem. I mean, information are on the internet anyway. You can do research, and I think one of the perks of being an MDRT member is that we know friends from all the insurance company, pretty much.
Yeah. And
sometimes they ask me for quotation, I give it to them. So when I need quotation from them, they will give it to me as well. So you study their quotation, so going in, if you know that your client is comparing, you go in and you focus on the part of your product that is really, really good. You never put down other people's product, but you minimize. You don't highlight it. You highlight your own. You keep highlighting your own. Let's say there's one thing about my product that is way better than the other person's product. I will keep highlighting that because you know why? They don't have it. So I just keep highlighting. So that's the only thing you can do. But relationship is so important. I feel like a lot of younger agents these days, they are very, very impatient when it comes to building relationship because it does take a long time. It does take time, but I prefer to do it that way because I think it's easier when I do business. There's less convincing that I need to do. Yeah, so I prefer it that way. Yeah. Okay.
There's another question pointed towards your TOT. It says, can you share your TOT achievement? Why did you do that? Why did you do that year? What did you do that year to have that breakthrough?
Oh, I mean, you go back to, first of all, you get your head straight. You ask yourself why you want to do it because it'll be 6 times the work. So you know that, okay? So once you're convinced that you want to do this, because for me, it's, I want to be the best. I want everyone to know me because, one of the reasons why was because I realized that a lot of people in AIA know who I am, but then I feel like I'm only 6-time MDRT, why do I, but since everyone knows me, what have I done to deserve it? So my only conclusion is that I'm very tall. When you walk in the room, you cannot miss me. I'm one of the tallest guys you will see in AIA, right? So, but I don't want that. So I want to be
How tall are you?
185.
Wow, really tall, huh?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And 185 with a beaming smile, it's hard to miss. Okay. So then I don't want that. I want all that. I want tall, beaming smile, at the same time, you know, the top of the table. So first thing is that you need to get your mind straight. So once you get your mind straight, it's about going back to the drawing board. Okay, you start writing name lists. You have to write that name list. Who is going to give you the FYP? How much people can give you? Okay, and be a bit bolder. So let's say, you know, today, my business, if I look at my business, ratio would be 70-30. 70% repeat sales, 30% new business. If my ratio is at around 70-30, it's very healthy. If I drop to 80-20, lazy year for me. Although I have 80% of my sales coming from my repeat client, but then what it means is that I have not done enough to generate new client. If I can do 60-40, it's even better. I mean, that year I worked really, really hard. So then you start looking at yourself. I mean, looking at your case, you know, for example, you know, I can look at, I'll be like, oh, Venka is a client. I think, you know, I'll do a review. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can, you know, sell him a policy that's, let's say, 35,000 ringgit. On a normal day, I will aim for 35, but because I want to be a TOT, I aim slightly higher. Can I aim 50? Okay. You know, if I can get 15,000 out of one client, out of 10, that's 150,000. So you aim higher. You aim higher, and then you have more appointments, you know, so you're constantly reviewing yourself. People don't review themselves. I review myself constantly during that year, every week, every month. So that was my first top of the table. My second one was a bit more systematic because I realized that there's a certain amount of luck as well for the first one, and I don't think luck will strike twice. So the second one, I actually achieved one MDRT every 2 months.
I see.
I said to myself, I must have one MDRT every 2 months. So I did that. So it's February, April, and I did my third one in May because the whole month of June I was in America. And then so I did my third one in May, and somehow I did one in July, and then September, and then November.
Okay.
So that was systematic. So if I drop off, then I'll be like, ooh, you know, of course, if you want to achieve, you know, one MDRT every 2 months, then there's expectation also every week, every 2 weeks, how much effort you bring in. So it's a constant, you know, number game.
So how important is keeping numbers and being focused on, like, you know, what you said about your 70-30, you know exactly how your numbers are, and all. How important are numbers in our business?
Oh, it's very important because you need to know your closing ratio. I mean, it goes back to all the things that we learned. You know, what is the percentage of your closing ratio? Because you have to plan. You know, you have to go in something with planning. You know, so you have to know what is your average case size. You know, of course, you know, so if I start calculating 3 million ringgit average case size is 15,000, that means I need to do 200 case. Okay. Of course, in deep down, you know, you don't want to do 200 case to hit the top of the table because that means a lot of work. Because if my closing ratio is like 50% or even higher, let's say out of every 5 cases, I close 4, 200 cases, basically I had to do like 300 proposals. So you walk back. So then you'd be like, oh my God. But then you need those as your base. You need some sort of basis to move on. Okay. So if at the end of the day, the worst case scenario is that you need to close 200 case, can you handle it? That would be the worst case scenario. If you need to close 200 that year, if you look at it and be like, you know what, I can handle it. I'm going to handle it. Then you are fine, because you know, that's where it is. But if you can, you know, throughout the journey, you might have big cases that come in. You know, I mean, I was lucky during my second top of the table. You know, I have a 550,000 case that came in, single case, regular premium. You know, 550,000 that came in. So that's already like 1/6 of my premium. So I was very lucky. So that's sort of, you know, and I also have very small cases as well. I have a lot of 2004. I don't pick anyone that wants to be my client. You can be my client, because at the end of the day, I do not want to be, you know, be short of 2004. Yeah. Okay. So.
Cool. You know, it's been very enlightening to have this session with you today. I mean, I learned a lot, and I think I enjoyed every second of it.
Great.
I just want to end with a slightly lighter note.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last 2 speakers. Do you watch Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like everyone else, huh?
Yeah. I mean.
So what's your favorite Netflix?
I watch Netflix because I can watch Netflix, you know, because I don't really have to work. Yeah. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah. Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in.
Okay. I mean, I'll show you my schedule for last week. Look how much
Oh,
Netflix
okay.
I watch.
Oh,
Here, NCIS, that's Netflix. Is that
Yeah.
Netflix? Yeah, that's, you know, Friends,
yeah.
Netflix, Netflix here, and then some up there. I mean, I watch Netflix all the time. So
Okay. But you got a lot of work done. It seems
I
like
get a lot of
you're
work
very
done
busy.
as well.
You get a lot of work
Yes.
done.
So this
So
is
you
actually not,
incorporate
yeah.
everything together.
I think like my previous one is even better. See, it's like lots of words, you know. Yeah, you keep
Yeah.
writing and make yourself look like, you know, you're very busy. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think sometimes we have to trick our mind as well. So I was
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
So I love watching documentary. So yeah, I watch
Cool.
lots of different things, you know. So the last thing I was watching yesterday was The Last Dance,
Oh,
the
okay.
documentary about Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so I watch lots of different things, you know. So I like to watch
Cool.
Friends because it brings me back to my time when I was in LA. So the good old days, and I watch a lot of YouTube as well.
Okay.
So
cool.
yeah, so
Cool.
yeah, always
So
watching.
one more question. What's the craziest thing you did with your kids during this MCO? Sorry.
I know
The craziest thing you did with your kids. I shan't ask about the craziest thing you did with your wife, but just with your kid.
The craziest thing I did with my kids, nothing, because I don't know. I forced them to wash my car, and I don't know. What's the craziest thing we have done, JC? Nothing. He's looking at me like nothing. Because you know why the two of them is like up in their room playing computer games all day long. Well, they have class as well. You know, they have to study. So my kids are 18 and 20. I have two grown kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
they don't. Yeah. No, nothing crazy because they are more scared than me. They don't even want to step outside. So the craziest thing would be like, you know, we got our hairdresser to come into my mom's house yesterday, and everyone got their haircut. That's why my hair is
That's
good.
a crazy thing.
That's the craziest thing.
Cool.
There's nothing to do. Oh, I don't do, you know, I mean, no, they are actually quite woozy. Yeah.
Okay. You should try to do a TikTok with them. All right. So
I did TikTok myself. Go to my Facebook, look at my TikTok. I'm actually more fun. They actually laugh at me when
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They think that people my age should not be doing TikTok. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Thian. I mean,